all for being here. Thank you so very much. I am deeply honored by this award. You know, when Christy called me to tell me about this, I thought she had the wrong person. And I said, are you sure about this? And she started giggling. She's so delightful. And she said, oh, absolutely. And I'm like, no, really, there are so many other people, and I mean this quite sincerely, who are incredible leaders in this industry. And so I said, you know, you really need to give it to somebody else. And then I thought about it for just another minute, and I thought, nah, I'll take it. So thank you. Seriously, there are so many people here this evening who I am indebted to. And Peter, first of all, I want to say congratulations to you. That was a lovely talk. I think you're going to hear some parallels in just a minute. But congratulations on an amazing career. Let's give him another round of applause. I'm a little nervous about naming anyone because I could name everyone here. But I do want to just make mention of a few people and say thank you. And first of all, two people that can't be here, that's my husband, Steve, and my son, Zach, who mean so very much to me and who really are the ones who nurture and encourage and keep me humble. Several people have said, do you have grandchildren? My son just got married, not any that we know about yet, but I'm hoping. I want to thank my incredible board chair, James Hartley, who's right over here. James is one of the smartest, most compassionate, kindest leader that I know, and he makes such a difference to our organization. And I realize I'm getting an award. He needs the award. It's he who has really made our system what it is, and he has his own way of letting us know when we do a great job and letting us know when we don't, and that's a mark of a good leader. Some of my Carillion family is here, and most of my executive team. Thank you all for being here so much, right here. Let's give them a hand. And to my great surprise and honor, my AHA family is here as well. I think we have several tables. My wonderful colleagues who do so much for the health care in this country, starting with our CEO, Rick Pollock. An amazing leader himself. And then we have, let's see, we have the chair-elect of the AHA, Brian Gragnolotti. The chair-elect, we commonly say Mindy Estes, Dr. Mindy Estes. And our former chair, our immediate past chair, Jean Woods. Thank you all. Thanks all of my AHA family for being here. I appreciate that. And there's some other former AHA folks, and your own board member, John Blutham, thank you for being here. And David Byrne is somewhere. Thank you for being here. And my old friends as well, Tim Rice, who actually deserves this award. After all, he was on the board of the Joint Commission not once but twice. Thank you, Tim. 3 times, he says. Daryl Kirsch, thank you, a longtime friend. Our folks from Modern Healthcare, Fawn and Aurora. I could just go on and on. Thank you all for being here. You inspire me. You have made a lasting impression on my career, but also on me as a person. And for that, I am just so appreciative. I am very honored to receive this award, but the truth is, I stand on the shoulders of giants. The influence and guidance of the many important mentors that I've been blessed to have shaped my life in 1,000 ways. So I don't have a lot to impart. You've heard great things from Peter and from Fawn. So maybe I'll just tell you a few of the principles that guide my leadership. As together we make our way through this topsy-turvy landscape that is healthcare, and more so through this craziness that we are facing as a nation. When I reflect back on my path to leadership, There are many people who stand out. You've heard of some of them. Some were leaders in the traditional sense, bosses, supervisors, and I learned a lot from them, mostly good. And others maybe don't fall in that traditional role, but were important nonetheless. As a young girl growing up in Virginia, my family had a profound impact. My parents were good, hardworking people who paid their bills on time, respected their elders, and loved my brothers and me unconditionally. Neither of my parents graduated from high school. I was partly raised by my remarkable grandmother, and she taught me a whole lot of things, like how good it feels to go barefoot in grass and how to play poker. Together, my parents and my grandmother taught me the value of a good education, a strong work ethic, and the joy in a job well done. My family had high expectations of me, but they also believed in me. And they believed I could achieve anything if I was determined enough. If you think about it, that's a pretty darn good idea about leadership. Set high standards for your team and make sure they know you believe in them. As a 15-year-old who experienced the healthcare system firsthand, I think about the caring doctors and nurses who took care of me when I was diagnosed with a bone tumor in my knee and spent about 2 years in crutches or in a wheelchair. And it was because of that extraordinary care that I received during my teenage years that I was inspired to become a nurse and began my journey in healthcare. And as Christy said, I still love patient contact. When I am stressed or have something just weighing heavily on my mind, you'll often see me at a patient's bedside. Later, as a manager, 2 physician colleagues were great mentors to me. Our then chief medical officer challenged me to stretch professionally. He wouldn't accept anything other than perfect. Dr. Kirsch probably remembers Dr. Crockett. He made me do the same thing over and over and over until we got it just right. Most important, he believed in me. Another physician gave me a book about servant leadership, and I found that the principles of servant leadership squared with my own approach to leadership. Servant leadership said simply, there are books about this, but one sentence, is that you're putting the interest of others at the center of your decision. Now, there's one kind of leadership that's not talked about too often, and that's leading up. My executive team is here, and they do a great job of letting me know what I need to know. Thank you all for that. I want to call out one person in particular. I have the great good fortune of having a colleague and a friend who doesn't always tell me what I want to hear, but with a sense of fairness and doing the right thing, she tells me what I need to hear. She's here tonight. Her name is Jeannie Armentrout, and she's going to kill me for naming her. But Jeannie, thank you so very much. So if servant leadership and mentoring are 2 of my guiding principles, diversity is another. In a world that's kind of gone crazy of late, where violence erupts so often we're almost, but thankfully not quite, immune to it, where #MeToo frames an issue too long ignored, where your zip code is a better predictor of your health than your blood pressure, where more people died from the opioid crisis last year than the whole of the Vietnam War, where Amazon, Apple, Google, robots, drones, artificial intelligence, machine learning are making science fiction science fact, a world where everyone's talking about the millennials, but we we can't forget that 10,000 people a day turn 65 in this country. It's going to take all of us, surely a beautiful mosaic, where each voice is important and credible. And working together, I think we're going to get all this right. I think we will right our nation, and importantly to healthcare, improve care beyond what any one of us could do. Ensuring diverse points of view and experiences allows us to see the community through a different lens, one that better reflects the patients that we serve, which then shapes how we provide care that is patient-centered, culturally competent, and serves the unique needs of our communities. Of diversity, creativity, progress, and new leaders emerge. Innovation flourishes. And this is really what we do as healthcare providers every day. We care for all those in need, anytime, in any circumstance, and in every community across this country. It is our honor to care for patients and their families during what's often the most vulnerable moments of their lives. Diversity is a value embedded in the fabric of this nation. It is who we are as a country. It is what we were founded on. And it is the core of what we do in healthcare. We provide hope and healing for all. So the last guiding principle I'll mention is value. The term value is used so much these days in healthcare that it's become almost a buzzword. And it's certainly important as we strive to make care safer, more efficient, and more affordable. I want to step back and ask that we think of value in a slightly different light. Really, this gets back to servant leadership and embracing diversity. I'm going to ask that we think of value in terms of valuing each other. A few years back, Rich Omdenstock stood here getting this award. I'm not sure if he stood here in this most amazing place, so thank you all for having us here. But Rich reminded us that we got into healthcare in the first place to promote health and well-being. And in doing so, he asked us not to forget the common good. I'll make a similar plea and ask tonight that we think of value not only as a change in our delivery model and our payment models, but as something we show each other. You honor me tonight for being a leader in healthcare, but the real leaders are the compassionate, courageous, committed women and men faithfully caring for patients and their communities all across this country right now, tonight. And I am proud to be a part of that team. I'm humbled by the work our clinicians do as they follow their noble calling. Our nation's hospitals act as safe harbors in times of need, in times of tragedy, and in times of despair, and in times of joy. And we offer hope and healing. We're always there. So in my mind, when I think about value, I also think about serving others, embracing differences, and finding our common good. In closing, I'd like to share this quote from Maya Angelou. You've heard it before. I've learned that people will forget what you said. People may even forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. You have made me feel very special. Thank you.